D Live. I know for a fact because almost none of the email I get in my email box comes from anyone I've ever seen logged into D Live. So you have no idea how many lurkers there are out there. In fact, in some ways, they're our most active listeners who email me important information. A lot of the tips and stuff are that I show on my show are actually from our lurkers. So that D Live number is just a very, very small indicator of how many people are listening to this channel. I hear you, Deb. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Whew, what a week. Lots of things happening.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Very, it's like the devil's chessboard or whatever. The whole world is just posturing and threatening and receding and lying and just the storm is here, man. We're trying to take down the elite, the deep state, Wall Street, banking cartel, the whole thing. And it's wild.
That's I like I said, I've been saying this for several months now. I can't watch it anymore because it's so crazy because you can't tell what's real anymore. And now that AI, it seems like now that AI is getting more and more popular, it's getting even harder and harder. You know, you have to really look really hard at some of these things. It's kind of like I just look at some of these and it's like, you know what, that doesn't look real. And the problem is some of them they're being backdated, you know, and you're thinking, okay, that didn't happen. I don't remember seeing that. Or, you know, you go and look at something. I mean, Politico actually fact checked about whether or not President Trump actually said that he was going to make a June Veterans Month, you know, and they say no, he didn't say that. Yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah, you have to double check everything, but I always double checked everything anyway. So I use Grok a lot. But Grok gives me an answer, not the answer. And a lot of Grok helps me mechanically with a lot of my work.
Mm-hmm.
So I use Grok all day long at my job. But when I ask Grok like a political question or a news question, he gives an answer, and I'm gonna say about 100% of the time I know more about it than Grok. But that doesn't mean what Grok said isn't useful. It just means Grok only looks at mainstream version of things. And so that's part of the puzzle for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get my Russian browsers out and look on social media for the more conspiracy theory or whatever version of things. And I don't know. I mean, what is reality? What is truth?
Well,
I mean,
that's
you
the
can
thing.
have 10 people in a square, observe something, and all of them think they're telling you the truth, and every single the story will be different. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, my conclusion with Grok is, Grok is just going to regurgitate what's already been put in. It's like, garbage in, garbage out. Like your computer, because it's basically scrubbing or scraping the information it's out there. And it's going to be full of bias. But that's my opinion.
No, it's true. And then AI will go an extra step, and it'll ask you, do you want me to kind of analyze this? And it uses, it'll say, people who think this is good will say, and then it bullet points 10 things. People who think that this is bad will say, and it bullet points 10 things. And that's useful. But it's not like you can use AI to find the truth. You just find information and a summary. It'll summarize it for you, and it's very useful. I mean, RFK Jr., I think, just got nailed. Not him, but somebody. He wrote this, he submitted this report, and they used AI to write the report. And AI made a lot of mistakes. Lots of mistakes. In essence, they have to rewrite the report. It, just didn't have the ability to determine which papers were actually peer reviewed and which weren't. It found papers on the internet that were written but not submitted. And like in the medical world, these. And so the whole report now is being called a lie when somebody else said, like, I don't know, it was like 20 reports were cited that shouldn't have been. But see, that's the thing. If you try to do shortcuts and trust AI to do it right, you just can't. And so now all that work is being trashed as being fake, and look how stupid he is, and he used AI, ha ha ha. I mean, these guys are trying to do so much all by themselves, and their entire staff probably don't help them at all, if not sabotage them.
Yeah, and I got a question. Have you noticed all of a sudden President Trump's got a new nickname, Taco Man? What is that about? Have you seen that? And what is all? Do you know the story behind that?
I do. So Trump always chickens out. TACO. Trump always chickens out.
Oh,
So the left made this up about the fact that he started out with the 100% tariff against China, and then he backed down to whatever, the 50%, whatever it is now. So they're calling awkwardly go back into this chicken thing and taco. And I look at the memes and like just something about the flavor of a lot of stuff that floats around that's anti-Trump. I feel like it's being written by these Chinese agents, maybe students who are here as part of the People's War against us from China. There's just something very foreign about that, because it's not funny to an American, not even a little bit. I mean, do you find the taco thing funny?
I don't. I felt it confusing, but it's like, okay, people just don't understand the word negotiation. He's like, okay, they did the okay because he said I'm going to do this, and it's like, okay, they countered him. He says, okay, we're going to counter back, and then it's part of the negotiation. People don't understand how to negotiate. It's kind of like if you go into like I know Mexico, because this is they call it haggling, and if you go in and buy something, they're gonna highball you. They expect you to lowball. They want you. They don't respect you if you just take their word at you go in and buy a dress, and they think you're stupid if you don't haggle. I mean, I try to haggle. I got them down to $19 for a $20 dress. I could have probably got them for like 5 or 10, but I don't know how to haggle. And I mean, I've been in that situation before, so I get what he's trying to do. It's not he's chickening out. It's called negotiation. And the idea is, if he can, it's going to be a win-win situation for everyone around. He's not, a lot of people go in for a win-lose situation, and he's looking for a win-win if possible. If not, then he's going to, of course, he's going to put the United States first. He's going to put America first. But
but when you look under the taco meme, so I went and found the taco meme, right? And then I looked at the comments. And the comments to me were clearly bots, because the comments were worded strange, I think, by Chinese or by AI. They were not generic. Like, in other words, somebody created the joke or the meme hoping it would catch on, and then they would put bots on it to be like, Trump is a chicken. Booty, 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 booty. Trump is a chicken taco. And it just was like, to me, not catching on at all. Because even like the biggest libtard I know, I don't think that would like ring their bell. It just seems there's just something odd about it. Like you were just talking about, where you don't know what's real and what's AI. I don't believe that was generated by an American leftist, the taco thing. I really don't. If there's something so foreign about it to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know where it came from. Like I said, I was scrolling through Facebook, and someone, some group, some platform would have a headline, and I mean, it's on every single headline. It doesn't matter what it is. President Trump, you know, uh, a Supreme Court rules in favor of President Trump, and you still have, Taco Man, Taco Man, Taco Man, and it just keeps going. So I knew it was generated somehow. I just didn't understand what the taco thing meant, and I was like, okay, this is a new one. What is this all about? Before, it's no longer Orange Man bad. It's now Taco Man, and I'm like, oh, okay. So
Right, they're trying to, like, how MAGA is Make American Great Again,
yeah.
and TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. That's another thing. They were trying to make a thing like taco being a weird leftist equivalent to MAGA. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just so contrived. It's so retarded.
Well, I just get so frustrated with some of the comments, and what really frustrates me is because I can almost spot either someone's being paid to put in the stupidity, or it's a bot. Just not even by looking at the profile, just because of the way they word things, and there's one person on Facebook, and it's like, and the people that engage with this in person, I just like, I've actually had people admit to me on social media, yeah, they're getting paid to do it. It's like, I try to tell people, don't engage with these people, they're getting paid, and they, so and again, it just it's so stupid. I'm just like, I get so frustrated. I think that's why I'm having anger issues lately. It's just, I can't stand it. I'm just like, I'm so tired of it. And I know, get away from social media, but sometimes you can't, I mean, if you don't plug in, you just don't know what's going on. I think I'm about ready
Right,
to
but that's
be like,
where the battle is.
yeah.
I mean, especially on X, because if there's a battle going on X, it's going to make it into the mainstream. It just will. I mean, that's where the battle is right now. I mean, nothing from Blue Sky or Facebook or other places. I guess arguably Truth Social, but that's just because they showed Trump's posts. I mean, the battle for the narrative, whether the lefties over on Blue Sky want to admit it or not, is on X. And so there's nights where I'm tired and I don't want to be in the battle, but I go out there and I have limited success here and there with things. But yeah, these people are all paid. You can tell, and it's on the right too. And we know, like, there's consultants out there that openly admit they're consultants, and they all have a chat room and they decide what they're going to focus on that day. And they all come out of the, off the blocks first thing in the morning, all talking about the exact same thing. And a lot of them even admit the White House calls them if they're supposed to shut up about something or not. And the left is the same. My former Tea Party friend, former Congressman Joe Walsh, admitted that he worked during the campaign for Republicans for Harris, which somebody tape recorded the person who was calling people like him, so-called Republicans, really gun for hire, what they would pay them, and that they would pay them to sit on social media all day pretending like they're a Republican for Harris. The guy who recorded it was a former Republican Department of Transportation from, I can't remember, up northeast, like Rhode Island or New Hampshire or something. And so that's the one time we actually just 100% had proof that people who changed their little logo to Republicans for Harris and had these talking points, that they had been solicited to do that and were getting paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you something too. They don't do that stuff just on politics either. There's all sorts of topics that they do the same thing. Uh, they get their little groups and they pay their little groups to promote. I mean, this is one of the things I started talking about 2 or 3 years ago when it came to, because and I've mentioned it more than once, but trying to work from home, and I started looking into doing things, and I would see these ads. Oh, let AI, do this, or people will pay you to do this, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to be a part of that. That's just not who I want to be, and so I
Right.
just
TikTok gets through, and Uncle Sam brings up something important. The streets. Yes, as you guys know, over the years, I put stickers up in stores with messages. And my son and I talk really, like, what you can do if you're with somebody is if you talk really loud about something in line at the gas station, at the, store, whatever, restaurant, like at the restaurant. If you start talking about something really loud, like you look and everyone's listening to you. And then you could be like, well, what are you thinking? Like get everyone talking. So my son and I do that all the time. But I also think putting stickers up in stores, I think that's really effective too. When there have been times when my purse was just bursting with stickers. So or just sticky notes. I just make a note about something, especially if it has to do with a store or a product, and I write out sticky notes and stick them so the merchant can take it down. I don't put stickers up like defacing anything, but just so people see, or like the grocery aisle. Like I go down the cereal aisle just to tell people how evil Kellogg's is and tell them to buy like one of the other companies because Kellogg's took all the advertising off of Breitbart and conservative media. So I tell people, and when they find out, they put that box of cereal down real fast. They just don't know.
yeah, yeah, they don't, and it's just
Right. I wear my Trump hat. Like the other day, I was talking to a lady. We were talking about just something kind of slightly political about Missouri, I think. And I had my Gothic black out Make America Great Again, but with the Gothic lettering like Elon. And she's like, I love your hat. And then I'm like, oh. So then I like just flat out said what I meant to say because I knew that she was a Trump fan, so we could talk about it. So yeah, that wearing your gear is really good.
yeah. I don't know. I'm still kind of around here. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are more Trump supporters around here, but I have to be careful because of where I work. So, and
Right, that's what I like about the blackout hat is it's not the red hat. It's so people will get closer to you before they get scared because they see the red hat from a mile away.
yeah,
But there's a lot of kind of black hats. And with the blackout hat, you have to be talking to the person because it's black thread, like
right,
well, maybe dark gray on a black hat. You have to be close enough to be looking really kind of looking at the hat to notice that it's a
yeah,
Make America Great Again hat. That's what I like about it. People don't avoid me.
yeah.
They just think it's a black hat until they get close enough to me but then by then my loud Chicago ways will be infiltrating them. If they get close enough to read that hat, it's
Yes,
already over for them.
yeah. It's like the red is like a waving a cape to a bull, right? Put yourself a
Exactly.
target. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like oh, it's just it's really it's funny. It's funny in some ways, but it's also sad that people are so. It's like how they get triggered so easy about something like that. I mean, you can't.
Football. It's football. It's because people are trained, well, sports. They're trained since they were children, especially guys, that they literally look to see what you're wearing to decide whether they can be friends with you or not. It's training. I'm convinced.
Maybe. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, even on social media, oh my gosh, they were talking about the launch. SpaceX had a launch today, and I was looking. Someone had mentioned it, and someone put in, "Elon needs to go away." It's like, are you kidding me? I mean, really? Anytime, and again, it goes back to either they're paid to do it, or it's a bot. You're scraping that algorithm and trying to put something out there to try to stir up trouble, and it just it I just don't even engage most of the time. But sometimes I'll just like can't stop myself because it's so. I mean, some of the things that are just so stupid that comes out. It's like, imagine being so hateful or feeling so threatened by wanting to put more money back in your paycheck. Or getting rid of fraud and it's. I think more than half of it, again, what we're talking about, more than half of it is people are being paid to stir the pot, and then the other half, it's they're just kind of bots, just
Right,
people.
but there's bots in real life. I mean, I remember, so in Chicago, you have the north side, you have the Chicago Cubs. And the Chicago Cubs have a certain image or feel to it, just sort of the north side does. It's a little more educated, it's a different ethnic mix. And then you have the Sox right on the south side, and that's a whole more Irish, like football hooligan type vibe to it than business guys taking the afternoon to go see a Cubs game. Anyway, I mean, these people are trained to be bots, man. I mean, because I remember sometimes they'd have both games would be played on the same day, same evening. And if you got on the train, I would take sometimes the red line that basically goes north to south. And there were times where you would just be sitting there and people wearing the blue Cubby stuff would be fighting with the Southsiders. I mean, rolling in the aisles, throwing punches, giving people black eyes for no freaking reason whatsoever.
Oh,
And I'm
I've
thinking
heard
to
that.
myself, this is ridiculous. This is like, you know, primate type behavior. I don't know how else to say it. And it was because they've been trained to hate people who are on the other team. And so this bot behavior is trained into especially men at a very young age. I mean, the kids are even in the brawl, you know? And I'm just sitting there like, because I'm just getting off work or whatever. I'm like, oh, please. I'm like trying to sit here and people are throwing punches over me and everyone smells like beer and this is just gross. Rolling my eyes. And it would happen. I would just be like, okay, it's going to be a bad day if I found out that there was a game on the north and south side on the same day. I'm like, this is going to be a bad day. I'm telling you right now, because you're going to be mixing oil with water all day long with these people roaming around with their baseball hats on and stuff.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to pop in real fast to confront Erin. I knew that you were calling me when you were at Publix in the checkout aisle. I knew it. I knew that you were calling me to get some kind of message out. I couldn't really figure it out, but you just told on yourself, lady.
Yep.
I'm the Publix call, y'all. When she gets ready to come, like, hey, Erin, can you believe that these oligarchs are? I was like, whoa, how you doing? I knew it. You were in the Publix checkout line.
Oh, I would do it too. If somebody
Hmm.
needed to be red pilled and I couldn't find anyone around, I would call you and put the speakerphone on.
You know you could. You
And
can
I'd be
any
like,
day.
hey, did you know Ukraine? Because I know you would talk and everyone in the
Yep.
store would start listening. And then you turn around and be like, what do you think?
That's it. I just said, you know you can any day of the week, girl. I'm here for you. But I just heard that. I had to pop in and be like, that's why she calls me sometimes. and she is fit to be tied. She has done ran into somebody. You can call me anytime. All right, ladies, you have a good show. I just wanted. I heard you said I had to come say something.
Right, I
Have a
talk
good
to her
show.
when I'm raging in the car. I'm like, "Wah!"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Ugh, hold on, I'm at a red light. Wah!"
yeah. I'm like, who made you mad, Erin? She's like, I'm just sick of hearing about this shit, Toko. I'm like, it's okay, girl. I get it. But you also are in news a lot more than most people. So, all right, Deb, you have a good show, honey.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'll get out of y'all so y'all keep talking. I just had to say that. Bye, ladies. Bye, chat.
Hey,
Bye.
by the way, if hey guys, if you're in chat, stop. Just please stop arguing. It's getting old. Everybody has the right to their opinion, but y'all keep engaging each other, and it's just old. I know freedom of speech and all that, but gosh, is it really worth coming in and disrupting a show? Sorry about that. Excuse me.
Yeah, there are certain quote unquote topics that I've noticed keep getting brought up over and over and over again, making little splitsyvilles and MAGA. And I pretty much avoid those topics, so that's another thing happening big time. It's a lot of things happening, but I think we can all agree that Lindsey Graham and Blumenthal should not be in Ukraine. So there's things we can unite on no matter who we are.
Whether over half those politicians shouldn't be going anywhere outside the United States, in my opinion. I was like, why are we? I mean, they're not doing it out of their pocket. We're the taxpayers paying for all that stuff. I mean, they don't. I mean, where in the Constitution does it say that they can go do these, ambassadors? That's what the ambassadorship is for. Ambassadors are to go to other countries. But, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But these guys, some of these guys are literally the salesmen for Army, Navy, whatever interests in their state or their district, and military contractors, etc. They are literally the salesmen for them. And they go traveling around and stuff. Plus, like we know Cotton is in charge of that Ned thing, one of those USAID things. And no senator or congressman should have nothing to do with the deep state nonsense. They're supposed to be representing us in our states, not the foreign intel interests or whatever. So there's just so many things to be done, and they're getting done. People just didn't know about this stuff, unless you were like basically a JFK researcher or some other topic, similar topic. In other words, only the truthers knew about any of this stuff. And ironically, even the most politically active, like Tea Party or whatever, they think I'm a nut. They like me. They know I can do the politics stuff. But when I start going in the rabbit holes, they're like, we can't talk about that. You can't prove that. You don't know that. It's a special breed over here at Patriots Soapbox that a lot of us are truthers and activists and politically aware, like news aware. And that's very rare, actually. Like my Tea Party friends, I can't talk about any of this stuff, but they can tell you like every line in a bill, every number about the budget. They know all about all these different politicians, but you start talking about USAID and weird stuff, they're like, they can't.
Well, it's like
overload.
Well, it doesn't. In some ways, it doesn't take an expert to figure stuff out if you just know how to think. People don't. I mean, my thinking. I think differently. Anyway, I can go from. I go from A. Sometimes I'll go from A to B, but I'll bypass B, go to C to D to get back to B. And people don't kind of understand my way of thinking. However, people don't know how to do critical thinking nowadays. It's just I know why I do some of the things I do, even though it doesn't seem normal, but there's a reason why I do it. And, it may be physical limitations or something, but, I've lost my, talk about my critical thinking. I've lost my train of thought now. But, anyway, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also, I think that especially the conservative movement, especially since so many people in the conservative movement are there because they're socially conservative or kind of a church person. A lot of them are like small business owner types, and especially just the establishment end of things. The conspiracy theory people were always on the left. I mean, even in the JFK world, I'm going to say 90% of those people are not only leftists, I mean, they are far left. That's why they're interested in JFK. So you have to kind of like hang out in there, like, and just stay on the topic of the research. Because if you get into the politics of it, it gets ugly. So, like, truthing of things, I don't believe has ever been, like, in the past. I don't think that was a huge part of. And it's only here recently that you can even talk about these things with just your average, like, precinct committeeman or whatever. It's just changed. The internet changed people. They started asking questions and looking for answers. First generation truthers and that would live, like, literally sleep in their car and live outside of the National Archives and just dig through paper, like take a job or an extra job and save up so they could quit their job and live out of their car at the National Archives for a month and dig and, go drop a dime in the Xerox machine and make copies. And then they'd share the stuff via the mail, copying for each.
But yeah, and they're also trying to say conservatives. I don't know what to say.
Right. I mean, today Laura Loomer's out there stirring up. I checked my ex today before I went and did some stuff, and here's Laura Loomer trying to stir people up about this Glenn Greenwald story with the master and servant situation, which, of course, I'm going to go listen to Master and Servant by Depeche Mode when I get off of here. Anyway, so I'm like, why is she stirring this up? And I'm thinking to myself, it's one of two things. Either it's because, so Laura Loomer hung around, like, she was part of the whole generation of Tea Party or whatever you want to call it, like, where we all talked a lot about Alinsky and Alinskyite tactics. And this is a full-on Alinskyite tactic. She puts on Twitter, you cannot be a conservative and respect Glenn Greenwald. That's Alinsky Tactics 101. Polarize something, label it, and then say you cannot be ... because ... to polarize it. That's Alinsky 101. I'm like, why in the hell is she going Alinsky at like 10 in the morning on Saturday? And I'm like, is she either entertaining herself to see how all these years we've learned about Alinsky tactics, we're still Pavlovian dogs who fall for it? Like, we just can't, that bell rings and we start salivating? Is she amusing herself? Or what? Because she knows that's Alinsky tactics. Why is she using them? So to me, I see stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I don't call myself a conservative. Therefore, this doesn't trigger me. So it's just so crazy.
That's the reason why
But
I
there's
stopped.
people running around with their head, like their hair on fire over this. I'll guarantee you all day. And she's probably at home laughing her ass off about it. That it still works. I mean, basically, Andrew Breitbart, who's the mentor of James O'Keefe, who was her boss, wrote a whole book about Alinsky tactics. It was like the thing for like 2 years. It's all we talked about. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why I stopped. I don't know. It gets to trying to figure out what role they're playing at any given time is really hard to decide. So I just like, that's the reason why I just kind of try to stay away from some of this. It's just
Right. Whenever you see you can't be a conservative and dot 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 dot, that right there is brainwashing. Alinsky tactics. That's somebody. That's like a curveball. Alinsky tactics 101. The question is, why does anyone still do it? I mean, I guess because there's people who still like, oh, I'm a conservative. It's my whole identity. It's just so crazy to me. It's okay if people feel that way. I just like, I'm like, okay, so if Alinsky tactics are about me putting myself in my own box by labeling myself something, I just won't have a label. How about that?
right.
So I'm just, I'm surfing above all this, laughing at everybody with their freaking titles.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, go ahead, label yourself. Put yourself in a box, lock the box, and then just sit around and fight about this all day and Alinskyite each other. I don't have time for it. So you can call me a conservative, but I don't. And I'm not going to, and I'm not going to say I'm anything because I'm just not gonna. Because that's your game, not mine. That's not my game.
And this is what I believe, and this is what I'm going to stick to it. And if you want to call me conservative or liberal or moderate or whatever, you know,
What's your
if it
problem?
makes your feelings feel good.
Right, but this again is the thing about the uniforms, the teams. You have to have a team, and you have to stick to the rules within your tribe, within your team. You have to have that motto. You have to know the game song and sing it loud and proud. It's kind of like some MAGA people do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you can call me MAGA, but you know what? I don't agree with everything you people do, and I'm never gonna. And I'm certainly not gonna run around and call myself MAGA. Why would I? Because then I'm just, again, putting my.
You're
That's
putting a
not
target on your
MAGA.
back.
You're like, see, you're not MAGA. You're not MAGA. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah.
I'm a mother who's trying to save the country for my son. And I also happen to be someone who's related to founding members of this country, so I feel like I have a little extra skin in the game. And that's what I label myself as, period. Just being a responsible citizen and a mother. That's all I am.
Yeah.
And I don't care who wants to, get in my boat and row with me. If it's lefties, I don't care. If you guys are going to help me, which you did with the whole Common Core thing, good. Climb on board. Grab an oar. Let's row together for a while. I don't care.
Well, I mean, yeah, as long
Let's
as
get rid of Common Core. Let's do it.
as long as the goal is the same, we may not agree with the way to do it, but as long as the goal is the same.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised some of the calls I've been on with some of the most prominent lefty school teachers union leaders ever. And I'm like, yeah, everything you're saying here, I'm just, wow. The most wow about it is how they'd be just like, let me call whoever, the education reporter on the New York Times and have her write an article front page tomorrow about this. And that's the one thing those guys could do we could never do. And I'm just like, wow. Kudos to you that you could just get the New York Times to write up what you want. Makes things easier. I'm just sitting here listening. I got my pen. I got my pad. I'm writing it down. We're going to get this done together. I'm like, I'm not going to hang out with y'all lifelong, but for what we're doing right now, this works for me. Good. Call the New York Times. Put it in there. Common Core's bad. We're going to get rid of it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's go back to critical thinking. And let's go back and learn how to. Learn how to research. Do they do even research papers anymore in school?
I mean, I know they do in college. I have a feeling that's. I already seen people writing articles about how AI is impacting education, and when people write their what's it called thesis and just an essay, they're having AI do it, and so like writing is just not going to be a thing anymore. And this is sort of what like when people criticize speaking of Common Core. I went to a lot of the meetings about Common Core and spoke with people in the Department of Ed in Illinois, etc. There is a reason why they stopped teaching certain skills. And it's not that I agree with it, but they were told that writing and obviously cursive and doing regular hand calculation of mathematics that's not algorithmic and all these other things that they dropped or changed that parents are so critical of. There is actually a reason they did that, and that is because they spoke with Silicon Valley futurist types who told them that those skills would die. And as it turns out, that's correct. Now, whether you should not teach a person how to manually do stuff is a different question. But the reality is, job skills wise, they were correct. The things they dropped out of the schools are actually skills that they're claiming are not useful anymore. I don't agree with it, but there was a logic to it. And that's what Jeb Bush and the National Governors Association, Republican governors, agreed with. That's what they agreed with. That's what the whole learn to code thing was all about, although that they got very wrong. Because coding's the first thing that AI is taking over.
Yeah.
So there is a thing. It was a thing that was well thought out, but that's why, like, for me, I always emphasize that the minute you consider school a career endeavor is the minute you ruin education. Education should be learning in the same way that Plato taught, as the same way as George Washington sat in a one room schoolhouse, and the same way, our Victorians ran around, doing things like archaeology. That's education. It has nothing to do with your career necessarily. And that's why I always say when Republicans sit here and say, we need to fix our schools so people are career ready, that's a totally different thing than saying we want critical thinkers who know what it means to be a human instead of a murderous, cell phone holding lunatic.
Yeah, I remember that in school.
If you don't have humanities, you're not human.
Right. Yeah, did y'all do that in Texas? I know back in, let's see, I was in what? Well, I was in high school, but yeah, they started to want you to decide when you were in 8th grade what kind of career path you wanted to take, so you could guide you to that career path. And it's like, that was stupid. I thought it was stupid then.
Right,
like,
that's the Republican dream. They had so during the Common Core drama, so this would be 12 years ago or whatever, I had a teacher come to me, and they actually wear big sunglasses and a scarf, and meet me at a coffee shop. And I got some emails, and I found out, and we busted them in Illinois, that they were had psychologists or whatever do basically a personality test to kindergartners. And then they were using that data to rate how many school dollars should be expended on the child based on their personality traits in kindergarten, aka whether they would be a compliant, hardworking bot that they could career path, or a free thinking, don't spend a dollar on them kid who's into like humanities. And so we busted them. They got in big trouble for doing that. It was like a pilot program, part of Common Core. And the whole point of Common Core was supposed to be, and we shut it down, that they were supposed to do that test in pre-K. There was state-sponsored preschool, and they would do personality tests, determine what kind of kid you had, determine how many resources the child was worth, and they would career path them. And all of their data, including medical, psychological, and education, would all be put in a database from preschool to post-job. And the plan was that they would share the data with employers who could go into the database and pick a student like junior year of high school to, in essence, have steer them through college to pick the right classes or focus with a guaranteed job when they get out. In other words, you are a bot with a predetermined future from preschool. That's what Common Core was supposed to be, and we stopped it. Like a bunch of us homeschoolers, people like me, and left-wing unionist lunatics all stopped it.
It's funny because I remember taking those personality tests, and oh my gosh, yeah, mine was more. I was supposed to be a good farmer or something like that. Yeah.
You know what mine was? You'll laugh because it's kind of actually true. Art historian.
Your humanities at work.
Right, you can't get more humanities than testing well for art historian. But it probably is a big part of my personality. I have other parts of my personality, but farmer, I can see that with you. I don't know if you know how to farm at all, but you're like a very nurturing person.
Well, my dad grew up on a farm, but the thing is I can't grow a plant. My mother had a green thumb, and she could grow just about anything. And the only thing I could grow was ivy. I couldn't kill ivy. So, ivy is hard to kill.
Yeah. Well, I better get going here. Yeah, we're still doing a lot of yard work. And actually, we had a bunch of guys come today and trim bushes and trees and stuff, which you got to do here in Oklahoma, because having any dead wood anywhere around your house is asking for trouble. But I haven't actually gone outside yet to see what they did.
Well, thanks for talking with me. I mean, right now, I mean, sometimes you just got to unplug with what's been happening. It's just crazy out there. And, I mean, right now it's just kind of sit back and, I mean, I try not to get in any arguments with anybody. It's just kind of like, okay, sit back and watch what's getting ready to happen next, you know. It's like for every, I guess you could call it negative, that stuff that we don't like, wait a few minutes or wait a day or two, and you're going to see that things are changing. So, I mean, and especially like with being in California, and everybody's talking about the prices and, you know, like gas prices. It's like, you know what? Reality check. It may not be President Trump. Look at your own local municipalities in your state. There may be something there that's causing your prices to stay up. So
the way I look at it, this is like the real bill, hope and change. I mean, at this point, like, there's so many things that are red flaggy to me, but I just, like, know that everything we were doing was not everything, but the direction of things before wasn't working. And so at this point, there's so many red lights flashing on the dashboard that trying anything different is better than not trying anything.
Right.
So there's days that are hard for me. I'm very much trained in the libertarian, Austrian economic supply side, no tariffs are bad world. So it's hard for me. But on the other hand, none of that worked. None of it's working.
Well, the thing
That's
is,
like not the real world we live in anymore. Everyone's a cheater, a trade cheater.
well, the thing is you can't throw money at every little problem. That's the thing. Some of it is your personality, is your person. Until you're willing to make a change on something, it's like an alcoholic trying to get sober, or someone who has a spending. Until you get that spending under control, you've got to freeze stuff. You got to stop hiring. You got to. I mean, I know President Trump is trying to undo what Biden did, and like the IRS people, and taking that money from the illegals, giving illegals, and put it into the VA. Getting the veterans off the street instead of giving it to the illegals. You got to clean this stuff up. You can't just keep going, or else our country is sitting for a disaster. You just can't. And the idea that people think that somehow that's bad, it's not bad. If you have to take, you got to take care before you can be a help to anybody else. You've got to be a whole, complete person. You have to have yourself under self-control. So before you start, and don't get me ranting, or else I'll put people to sleep.
Yeah, we all try. I'm under control most of the time, but I have my moments. We all try. But yeah, I'm hanging in there. I get away. I'm not on my computer all the time. I'm not focused on this all the time, or I go crazy. So yeah, but I do something every day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys as always, Dub. It's lovely talking to you and everyone in chat. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning.
Okie
9
dokie.
a.m. Eastern. Alrighty. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, this is On a Wing in the Prayer. This is Deb65. I am here on Thursday mornings, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern. And then, of course, Saturday evenings from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, adjust for your time zone. So, before I throw my show opener, just kind of some little bit of kind of updates. I've been having issues with my audio and video, and some smart person out in chat Thursday morning suggested that I keep forgetting. Zoom likes to, every time there's an update, Zoom likes to change my settings. So, and it always takes me forever to get the right combination of settings. So that's one reason why I've been having audio and video issues. I always think it's my computer that's doing it. So when I play my show opener, if you're having issues, I'll try to catch it before it gets too bad if my settings didn't work. So that is one thing. The other thing is, do you want to do call-ins? I will be doing an extended hour. Dano has asked if I could step in. I will be doing that. So we have an extra hour. Put up a C if you want to do call-ins. I can't keep the lines open for very long, or else it kicks me off. But if you want to do call-ins, I will be happy to open up the phone lines. The other thing is, I now have YouTube. So I'm going to put out my YouTube channel. And so far I've got 15 people. So what I basically did is I took my YouTube, try to say all that without taking a breath. I took all my YouTube, or my Rumble from the beginning, and from the beginning of the year, and I uploaded it to YouTube. I mean, I didn't want to spend a month trying to put all my videos, because I got like 5 or 6 pages on Rumble. I've got at least about 500 maybe videos on Rumble, so I didn't want to do all that. That would have taken forever, and I wanted to start, doing live, and I'm still trying to figure out. I think I've got it almost where I can go do live through YouTube. I'm just trying to figure that out. And so with that being said, and so that maybe when I do my Journey Through the Bible, my Bible study videos or recordings, that maybe I can do live, and that way people might be drawn and do some chatting. Okay, with that being said, I am going to start. So remember that, and I'll be right back.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand evil, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith with which you will be able to quench all of the fiery darts of the wicked one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all the perseverance and supplication for all saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, which I'm an ambassador in chains, and willfully so, that in it I'm simply as I see. Amen.
Father,
But you good? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good. I thought I noticed that the phone rang, and of course I didn't hear it. So, and my daughter texted me accident, and I thought she was in an accident. She said no, it was an accidental dial. I was like, oh, okay.
She butt dialed you.
Well, I'm glad it
by the way,
wasn't
your
an
audio is
accident.
fine. It does sound like you're like, yeah, your audio is fine. It sounds like you're like using your laptop microphone though, but it's not like, it's just like in the old days, but you're fine.
It's a plug-in mic on my desktop. So, and like I said, whenever I keep forgetting, whenever Zoom updates, it messes all my settings, and then it takes me forever to find the right combination. And especially now with the AI messing with stuff, it just makes it harder. So.
Yeah, I understand. All right, my dove. Well, I'll get out of your way. So I'm glad your crisis averted.
Whew! I was like, I don't need another one. Huh?
Yeah, have a good show, hon.
All right, thank you. Okay, so
All right, bye.
all right, well, so Texas Freedom Road, are you saying you can't hear me? All right. Okay, so is there anybody that want to call in Memorial Day weekend? And I just wanted to, let people know, and I was going to do this like a couple of weeks ago, but y'all know what a great Jubilee Day was first held on Monday, May the 26th, 1783, and this was interesting. I thought this was interesting. So it was in 1873, which, Monday, May the 26th, was actually Memorial Day. So a great Jubilee Day was held in North Stafford, now Trumbull, Connecticut, commemorated the end of fighting in the American Revolutionary War. So, part of this is, people look at markers or looking at dates, where, based on what some of the posts we've seen and how the dates are important and things like that. So this celebration included feasting, prayer, speeches, toast, and 2 companies of the North Stratford militia performing maneuvers with cannon discharges and one was of the first documented celebrations following the War for Independence and continued as Decoration Day and today as Memorial Day with prayer services and parades. So, let's see. So, Monday, the 26th May 1783, the inhabitants of North Stratford set apart as a day of public rejoicing for the late publication of peace. I mean, I think President Trump even called, I think, hasn't it been called Decoration Day and Liberation Day and things like that? And people are, they just don't understand what's really going on. So at 1 o'clock p.m., the people being convened at the meeting house, public worship was opened by singing. The Reverend James Beebe said a prayer well adapted and suitable for the occasion. They sang a psalm. Mr. David Lewis Beebe, a student at Yale College, made an oration with great propriety. The congregation then sung an anthem. The Reverend Beebe then requested the ladies to take their seats, prepared on an eminence for the reception when they walked in procession, and upwards of 300 being seated. The committee who were appointed to wait on them supplied their table with necessities for refreshments. In the meantime, the two companies of militia being drawn up performed many maneuvers and firing by platoons, general volleys, and string firing, and the artillery discharging their cannon between each volley with much regularity and accuracy, after which a stage was prepared in the center and the following toasts were given. The United States and Congression assembled. George Washington and the brave officers and soldiers of his command, our faithful, illustrious ally. Okay, I'm not. So, our faithful and illustrious allies, the friendly powers of Europe, the governor and company of the state of Connecticut, may the present peace prove a glorious one and last forever. May tyranny and despotism sink and rise no more. May the late war prove an abomination, abdomination to Great Britain, and the present peace teach its inhabitants their true interests. The Navy of the United States of America, may the union of these states be perpetual and uninterrupted. I think we're finding out that we are being interrupted because we have lost sight of what our nation started as. May our trade and navigation extend to both Indies and the balance to be found in our favor. May the American flag always scourge to tyrants, or always be a scourge to tyrants. Well, we're seeing that. We're seeing the American flag being a scourge to tyrants because the tyrants are trying to take over. We're getting, I mean, how many places are using the pride flag in their governments? They're trying to replace our American flag. May the virtuous daughters of America bestow their favors only on those who have courage to defend them. May Vermont be received into the federal union and the Green Mountain Boys flourish. At the end of each toast, a cannon was discharged. The whole was conducted with the greatest decency, and every mind seemed to show satisfaction. Let's see, Valley Forge. So the North Stratford Militia. The Connecticut General Assembly named Robert Hawley the ensign of the North Stratford Train Band or Company of the 4th Regiment of the Connecticut Colony Militia in October 1765. He was promoted to lieutenant in October 1769, ultimately to captain in May 1773. As a special meeting assembled by North Stratford on November 10th, 1777, he was appointed to a committee to provide immediately all those necessaries for the Continental Army soldiers. On March 12, 1778, the parish of North Stratford made donations of provisions for those residents serving in the Southern Army stationed at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, under the command of General George Washington. Mr. Stephen Middlebrook donated the sum of £7 or money, 3 shillings, and 10 pence to transport the almost 200 pounds of provisions. George Washington called Connecticut the provision state because of supplies contributed to his army by Governor Jonathan Trumbull, the only colonial governor to support the cause of America's independence from Great Britain. So that was one of the things I was going to go over last week, but did not have a chance to do it. And I don't know. Monday was kind of a special day because it was 6 months ago that my brother-in-law joined the club of Memorial Day. He joined the club on November the 11th, which was Veterans Day, as he joined the member of the Memorial Day. So this was for me, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, and I kind of did a special on my Rumble about Memorial Day, and it was really hard. It wasn't hard in one sense, but on the other hand, it's just, reflecting. My brother-in-law, he was, even though he was not active duty, he still worked closely with the military in what he was doing. In fact, as I mentioned before, from my understanding, he, with the work he did, he was a leader. He was a lead investigator into the election fraud and Russia interference. And he had, the night before he passed away, he actually had sent an email to his supervisor. I do not know what was in it. I do not know what it was about. I have no clue. But I just feel like he did not stop once even though he let's see, how do I put this? He was no longer an active service member. The work he did, and I shared this on Thursday morning, the work he did, I can remember there was a time he went in as I don't know if you call it a strategist or an advisory role, and this was back in, I don't remember what year, but it was under Obama, and he went into Afghanistan, I believe, and he went in as an advisor, and at the time the rotation was only for like 3 months, and he had, with the blessing, he talked it over with my sister, and with her blessing he asked to extend his stay for another 3 months because he wanted, whatever his role was, he wanted his predecessor or his successor to understand the dynamics. Because I thought it was really stupid, because 3 months does not give for a rotation, does not give anybody really time to get up to speed before they leave. So I thought it was really ridiculous at the time when my sister was telling me about it. But anyway, so there's that. And it was just one of those things. So I see a lot of people out there. Sheila W, hey. Maru 9, hey. Man, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long. Jeff Wickham, hey. Just a Pug, hey. Dynamax, hey. And I know Oliver Twist and Smoke is out there. Cultivator 63. Mrs. Texas Freedom Road. So I don't know if y'all guys are still out there or not. Hiya. So anyway, there's that, and I just want to share that with you. It's been really hard for my family, and I mean, I know there's a lot of people that deserve the Medal of Freedom, but if anybody did, I think he also should have his name in the hat. Again, hey, praying mantis, real praying mantis. Hey, Alan 101. Kinsley Wren, hello. MQG, hello. Anyway, it's just one of those things. Okay, get back to some other things. Here's something that I don't think people are realizing what's happening. Hold on a second. He says, guys, can you believe this? So this comes from the United States Attorney's Office from the Central District of California. So this is a DOJ website. Have any of you heard of Operation Guardian Angel? Well, yeah, give me a C for call in if you want me to open up the phone lines. So, Operation Guardian Angel launched to neutralize California's sanctuary state policies that protect criminal illegal aliens. And this actually came out May 19th. So, out of LA, the United States Attorney's Office, along with its federal law enforcement partners today, announced the launch of Operation Guardian Angel, and a program that seeks to neutralize California's sanctuary state policy and protect Americans from criminal illegal aliens incarcerated in county jails by issuing federal arrest warrants for them. So the Central District of California, comprised of the counties of Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Luis Obispo, I probably mangled that, Santa Barbara, and Ventura, is home to an estimate of 1.5 million illegal aliens. Among this population are gang members and other dangerous felons. The operation will file complaints and arrest warrants to allow federal law enforcement to take as many defendants as possible into custody from state jails. So if they're already in jail and they are illegal, they're basically saying that, it's bypassing all this other garbage. The program, which began May the 10th, and as a result in the arrest of 13 defendants as of May the 15th. So in 5 days, that's almost one defendant a day. Those numbers are expected to grow. Even the worst criminal aliens in state custody are frequently released into the community because California's sanctuary state policies block cooperation with federal law enforcement, said United States Attorney Bill Essayli. The laws effectively render federal immigration detainers meaningless. The days of giving criminal illegal aliens a free pass are over. While California may be presently disregarding detainers, it cannot ignore federal arrest warrants. The danger to the community state protection of criminal illegal aliens could not be starker. In February 2025, Jose Cristian Saravia Sanchez, 30 of Mexico, shot and killed an Inglewood man who tried to stop him from stealing a catalytic converter. So they're still stealing the catalytic converters, and we've talked about that before. The stealing of the catalytic converters. Why are they stealing it? Why was it such a rampant thing? It's because, they're probably wanting the minerals, all those minerals that they keep talking about. So, despite the fact that he was an illegal alien who had been convicted of vehicle theft, was removed from the United States in 2013, and had been arrested 11 times between June the 22nd and August the 24th. That's almost like every other month, if you look at it like that. Right? Probably every other month. Local law enforcement was prevented by state law from complying with an immigration detainer request. So the goal of Operation Guardian Angel is to neutralize, as far as possible, California's sanctuary state policy and make our community safer. So if anybody's against it, they are just full of it. Let's see. So this one says, if it can come up. Okay, and this was back in May the 1st. So federal prosecutors charged 34 defendants this week for being illegal aliens. So this is a month ago, found in the United States following removal. Working alongside law enforcement partners in United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, federal prosecutors filed criminal charges against 34 defendants this week who allegedly were found in the U.S. following removal, the Justice Department announced today. Many of the defendants charged were previously convicted of felonies before they were removed from the United States. The crime of being found in the United States following removal carries a base sentence of up to 2 years in federal prison. Defendants who were removed after being convicted of a felony face a maximum 10-year prison sentence, and defendants removed after being convicted of an aggravated felony face a maximum of 20 years in federal prison. Some of the recently filed cases are summarized below. Jesus Aguilar Garcia, 34, Mexico, is charged via federal criminal complaint with being an illegal alien found in the United States after removal. Aguilar, who was removed from the U.S. in 2008 and again in 2011, has a state conviction. And see, those were like under, who was that under? Y'all know? 2008 and 2011. Anybody? Well, of course, depended on when in 2008, of course. But anyone to take a guess who was the so-called president at that time? Has a state conviction for unlawful intercourse by a person over 21 with a person under 16 in 2023, for which he was sentenced to 2 years probation. He also has prior state convictions for felony possession of a firearm in 2021, carrying a concealed weapon with a criminal street gang allegation in 2010. Interesting. And possession of controlled substance for sale in 2010, each of which received sentences of 16 months imprisonment. Finally, he has a 2013 federal conviction for 1,326, for which he received a sentence, I wonder what that means, of 30 months imprisonment. So he would have gotten out probably 2013, about 2019? Assistant State Attorney General, or Assistant United States Attorney John A. Baya of the Riverside Branch Office is prosecuting this case. So U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Homeland Security investigations are investigating these matters. So a criminal complaint contains allegations. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt in a court of law. These cases are part of Operation Take Back America, a nationwide initiative that marshals the full resources of the Department of Justice to repel the invasions of illegal immigration, achieve the total eliminations of cartels, transnational criminal organizations, and protect our communities from the perpetrators can't talk of violent crime. Operation Take Back America streamlines efforts and resources from the department's organized crime, drug enforcement, and task forces, and Project Safe Neighborhood. So there you go on that one. So I thought, like I said, I know immigration is such a hot topic. Yep. Yippers. Isn't it interesting? Yep. With alright, okay, so and this has happened in Dallas. This is from the ICE website. So ICE apprehends Venezuelan woman who fled the scene of jet ski accident that killed woman on kayak at Grapevine. And there she is, a lovely lady. So, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, in a joint operation with state and federal law enforcement, arrested Dakerlin Alejandra Gonzalez, a 22-year-old citizen of Venezuela, in Dallas on May the 27th, following a state warrant execution for felony manslaughter. Gonzalez was operating a personal watercraft with a female passenger at high speed near the shoreline of Oak Grove Park, May the 25th, when she collided with a kayak occupied by 18-year-old Ava Moore. The collision resulted in Moore's death. Gonzalez fled the scene with her passenger on board. Gonzalez and the passenger returned to Oak Grove Park. The passenger remained on the scene with the witnesses and was interviewed by Grapevine Police Department, while Gonzalez left in a vehicle with 21-year-old Mikel Coelho Perrozo, also of Venezuela. Perrozo has been charged with hindering apprehension. As the investigation unfolds, more state charges could be filed. And so this is a quote: "This criminal alien and her boyfriend will account for the tragic accident that ended the life of a young woman who exhibited enormous potential," said ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations Dallas Acting Field Office Director Josh Johnson. ICE Dallas will remain steadfast in our commitment to arresting and removing criminal aliens who pose threats to the safety of our communities. Dallas lodged immigration detainers with the Grapevine Police Department following Gonzalez and Coelho's arrest. Both are in removal proceedings pursuant to the policies of the Immigration and Nationality Act as aliens present without admission or parole. So our partnerships with law enforcement across jurisdictions are key during these types of investigations. Said ICE Homeland Security Investigations Dallas Special Agent in Charge Travis Pickard. This investigation will continue to be driven by facts, evidence, and firm commitment to justice. The arrest of these two illegal aliens reflect the diligence and professionalism of our law enforcement team. On September 28th, Gonzalez illegally entered the United States without inspection or parole by an immigration officer. On the same day, the U.S. Border Patrol arrested and processed Gonzalez with a notice to appear and released her released her on an order of recognizance. See, this is that catch and release. So she was caught. But she was processed. My sister worked for the immigration courts for a few months. Okay, I'm not sure I understand your what you want me to do, Dynamax. But oh, Alex Jones checking out Mexican underwear. Might in a minute. This investigation included law enforcement officials from ERO Dallas or field office or something like that. Homeland Security, right? In Dallas, the Texas Department of Wildlife, the Grapevine Police Department, the Texas Department of Public Safety, the Texas Office of the Attorney General, and Dallas Police Department, and the Dallas U.S. Marshal's Office. So here's the thing about this. This is not the only person that they've done this. There was another. I wish I had the. I wish I could remember where I saw the article, but there was it was like a 19-year-old, and well, not the girl, and this isn't the girl from Georgia. This is a different person that killed somebody, and they were. Now the whole family has to be deported. All right, let's see. I'll try it, Dynamax. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it though, because I'll try to play it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I don't know my video I think isn't working right, but we'll see. Give me a moment while I have to do some finagling. So.
South of Mexico that bus up on a train. To understand, folks, you could wear this. I could wear this as a onesie. Okay, it's a leotard. I mean, oh my God, we're being invaded by South American walruses.
I may not be able to share it after all, because this is what happens if I have too many. Let me see. I may have to take some things down. Okay. Can y'all still hear me? No sound. Yeah, I know. Okay. This might work. Let me try it again. Alright. Hold on. Alright, let's see. Alright, let's see.
$42,000 pairs, 6X for the illegal aliens from us up on a train every day. To understand, folks, you could wear this. I could wear this as a onesie. Okay, I could wear this as a leotard. I mean, oh my God. Oh my God, we're being invaded by South American walruses. The government is here 42,000 people. Think of the job of the Hutt. This country is so screwed up, man. No, if you're a radio listener, you can't see him. Oh my God, look at this. Oh, God. I left this hard on here. Oh, look at this.
Okay. Did you like that little laugh? Alright. Did y'all get, Hold on a second. Y'all like that? That walrus. So, I don't know. A second. Okie dokie. What else? Alright. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Whoopsies. Okay. Alright. So let's see what we can do. Alright, let me... Alright, let's see. If I take that down, take that down, take that down. Let's see if we can...
Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. You know, when I think about the wonders of the natural world, I immediately think of puberty blockers, bottom surgery, and other irreversible trans treatments, don't you? Let's check what is happening at Yosemite National Park.
We carry the largest trans pride flag to
Okay, let me try to do something right. Yeah, this is what I mean about, I did, like I said, I did try. Okay.
Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to losing it. You know, when I think about the wonders of the natural world, I immediately think of puberty blockers, bottom surgery, treatments. What is happening at Yosemite National Park?
the largest pride flag and furled it outside of a map to prove a point that trans is natural. The Trump administration and transphobes would love to have
See normal. Okay. This is better. This is really aggravating because no matter what I try to do, let's see. That one. Let's see. Let's see. The problem is, it's like any of my do is gonna be like that. So.
Welcome to the program. Lefty.
Yeah, it didn't look like it's gonna work. Oh gosh. So, let's see. Anybody, y'all sure y'all don't want to just call in and have a chat for an hour? So, I can always have lines. Anybody wants to call in? Yes, I can figure out. Okay, is it okay? All right, so we got to scroll all the way down. I think let's see, did I? No. Thursday morning. Actually, I think we missed this. So on May the 30th, 2020, I think. A lot of these, I think, are coming from 5 years ago. Can y'all believe it's been 5 years? I was looking the other day, and gosh, 5 years ago, right? So much has happened. Can you imagine being where you were 5 years ago, or even 9 years ago? And I was talking to Chris, as I've been starting to watch some old TV shows. Anybody remember anybody ever seen the TV show Bull with Michael Weatherly? I started watching that, and one of their, in season 4, which would have been around, because he started in 2016, so maybe around 2020, right? He actually had there was an episode. Remember, this is 2020, right? And in the episode, there was a federal judge was hearing a case on a woman on an assisted suicide case, and the woman, while the judge, she was considered a quote an activist judge. She was kind of like a Joe Araparo. She like made a slumlord stay in his own building and blah blah blah. But anyway, the federal agents or FBI came in to arrest this woman, and the judge, guess what? The judge actually walked this woman through her court, through her chambers, or not through chambers, but the jury box, and had this woman who was accused with the assisted suicide. She was walking this woman, and to help her evade the arrest from the federal. Y'all want to know what the name of that judge, this fictional judge in this episode was? Anybody want to guess? I'll give you, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody want to guess who it was? What the name of this woman in this episode was? Or this judge? Okay, come on. Interact with me. Anyway, her name was Judge Dugan. Now, where have we heard that before? And I tell you what, their whole season 5, I couldn't even watch their season. Nope. Dugan. I couldn't even watch season 5 because it was so ridiculous. The way they would wear the mask, they would come outside the courtyard, the courthouse, taking off the mask so they could talk to someone, or they'd go into a building, and even when they were doing the social distancing and everything, they would be on the stand testifying without the mask on. And I mean, it was just, they couldn't even keep, maybe they couldn't even keep up with when to wear the mask and when to take it off. It was never consistent. It's like, it's no wonder people are so confused about whether or not the shots work or whether to wear the mask or not. It was just crazy. I couldn't even watch. I watched a couple of episodes, or tried to watch a couple of episodes of season 5, but I just like, I don't know. That's so ridiculous. Anyway, so there was some other, yeah, exactly, wipe on, wipe off. I mean, they would be talking and they would take off the mask and then they would put it on. Yeah, it was just really, really silly. So if you want to get a good laugh, start watching, go watch some of those episodes of Bull. I mean, predictive programming, right? All right, anyway. Let's go. 4291, May the 20th. So, and President Trump, U.S. Patriot. I always have been anti-social media, but I finally decided to join Twitter to show my love and support to you, and support for you, Mr. President. You are truly amazing. Put America first in the way you fight the hateful left and media. Nobody else could do what you do. Truly incredible. So President Trump needs to retweet this video of Susan Rice lying through her teeth about the unmasking. And see, if I remember correctly, this was not... Yeah, drilled the mask and just a pug. If I remember correctly, I think this is... This takes a while. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, yep. Of course, it's unavailable. Of course, it's unavailable. It usually is. Alright, I got it. Alright, let me see. Let me pause this for a second. Here we go. Oh, jeez. Alright. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I think I did this Thursday morning. Can y'all believe that tomorrow, there was something special I want to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's June the 1st. Can y'all believe tomorrow's June the 1st? This is actually the last day of May. How about that? So why did POTUS reply to a tweet from May the 30th of 2019, where we go when we go all. And then consideration is being given to declare Antifa, the gutless radical left whack jobs who go around hitting only non-fighter people over the heads with baseball bats, a major organization of terror, along with the MS-13 and others, would make it easier for police to do their job. So, okay, here is the, oh yeah, I think this is, yeah, if you can see that, oh no, there's, 67 pages. The other day it wasn't coming up. So this is Counterinsurgency Guide of 2009, and got all that. So let me, all right. Yes. Okay. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right. One thing about this is I can't, because of the box that gets in my way, the drop down box gets in my way, and I can't always move the window down. So it can be a really frustrating thing. Okay, where are we? So, irregular warfare, insurgency. Insurgency is the organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, and challenge political control of a region. As such, it is primarily a political struggle in which both sides use armed force to create space for their political, economic, and influence activities to be effective. Insurgency is not always conducted by a single group with centralized military-style command structure, but may involve a complex matrix of different actors with various types. Oh, by the way, I know I'm jumping topics here, but did y'all notice President Trump's speech yesterday on the steel? And I can't remember who it was he called up, but did you see where he called the guy Central Casting? He said it twice. So kind of make you wonder who is actually in charge of that department. I can't remember if it was agriculture, who was it, or commerce. I can't remember. But did y'all notice that? Did y'all hear his speech at the? I think it was at the rally. It's either at the rally or at the steel in Pennsylvania. I was listening to it while I was working at work at the school. And I only have 4 days of school left. And then we start the summer program. Oh, goody. Let's see. But involve a complex net loosely connected to in dynamic and non-hierarchical networks. To be successful, insurgencies require charismatic leadership, supporters, recruits, supplies, safe havens, and funding, often from illicit activities. They only need the active support of a few enabling individuals, but the passive acquiescence of a large population of the contested population will be a higher probability of success. This is best achieved when the political cause of the insurgency has strong appeal, manipulating religions, tribal, or local identity to exploit common societal grievances or needs. Insurgents seek to gain control of populations through a combination of persuasion, subversion, and coercion, while using guerrilla tactics to offset the strengths of government security forces. Their intent is usually to protract the struggle, exhaust the government, and win sufficient popular support to force capitulation or political accommodation. Consequently, insurgencies evolve through a series of stages. Through the progression and outcome will be different in almost every case. Locations, cities, loss of control, decontrol, defined stand town, safe haven order, defined organized group, coordination of organized and funded groups, and decontrolled safe haven cities across U.S. Pre-knowledge to groups. So I'm not going to click on all these links. It says, thank you for playing. Have a nice day. Well, look happening, you know. So now it's no longer BLM, and Antifa is starting to make its rise again, but it's also being by the trans, what they're calling themselves is trans-tifa now. They're a combination of Antifa and transgender. So, can you believe that? I mean, I thought, you know, I hope they run out of money soon. So this is just a retruth. So warfare. Okay, it says warfare, or it's supposed to be warfare. Spelling in unintentional on the move. So whatever they were doing, they were not. So, and then of course this is the two flags. You know, the similarities between the Nazi flag and the, you know, I wish people would show these people, you know, when they call you fascist, you have to show, you know, why don't we show them what the Nazi flag really looks like? So, anti-American, domestic terrorists, organized fascists, extreme radicals, violent, POTUS action coming, Homeland Security, FBI, DOJ action coming. Investigations may lead to D and F support targets. So then we have 4355. They want you divided. They want race wars. They want class wars. They want religious wars. They want political wars. For God and country, learn, stay strong, stay together. And let's see. Let me see. See if this one's still available. I don't think this one's available either. Oh, so an army of volunteers in Minneapolis helped clean up business damage, bring it to the site. So here we go. We got these people, and yeah. Let's see. Right. Okay. Oh. Alright. Come on up. Okay, here we go. I mean, I don't know about you. Sometimes these are interesting. So it's humanity at its finest. So these men are protecting an officer that was separated from his team, was outnumbered and in danger. So what do y'all think about Chauvin maybe getting a pardon? Vinny's wife? Oh, hey, Vinny. Hey, Vinny. Ready for the gold building? Yeah, Durango and us. Durango, Oxen, Bricksview. So, I mean, never mind. Let's see. Daily Caller, Vigilant. Oh. See what we have here. So, okay, in many it appears the violence is planned, organized, driven by anarchic, oh no, anarchic, oh gosh, I can't talk, I know, anarchist, anarchic. Left extremist groups, far left extremist groups using Antifa tactics. And I bet you I could play that, but I'm not going to. Alright, so be vigilant. So anarchistic. There we go. Anarchistic. It didn't have the istic in there. It had ANARCHTIC. That's the reason why I couldn't do it. Anarchistic. Thank you, Real Praying Mantis. So something went wrong. Okay, of course, it's not available. So that means that they scrubbed that. But the title says Politics, Justice Department, FBI's top lawyer Dana Boente ousted amid Fox News. So update the list. So, I mean, people are getting... So, insurrection, 4360, Insurrection Act of 1807, determination with the various state and local authorities are not up to the task of responding to the growing unrest. Call the ball. I remember talking about this on Thursday. It's like, when I think of call the ball, isn't that that's a Navy term, right? On your Navy aircraft carrier, where they call the ball, so that when that's what they use to guide their air not necessarily airplanes, but their aircraft. Their aircraft when they're landing when they're trying to land. Let's see. So 3161. Just to peg, you're funny. Let's see. Every citizen in every community has the right to be safe in their workshop or workplace, safe in their homes, and safe on our city streets. This is the sacred right of all Americans that I am totally determined to defend. I wish people would understand that President Trump is not the enemy that they're trying to make him to be. I don't agree with everything, but I mean, I don't know everything he knows either, and I don't know what the plan is. So the prayer doesn't exist. So be on the ready. God save America. And then this is a repost of the 4355. Again with the flags. The United States of America will be designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. I know we're beyond need for Q proofs, but Q posted May the 30th, 2020. Tweet May the 31st, 2020. Let's see. Thank you, Cultivator, for the lemon. But be sure, and be sure, guys, be sure to go to my Rumble. And be sure to rumble.com. Whoops. Rumble. It's rumble.com. Okay. And just in case y'all want to help me out, hold on, I got it. I'm trying to do 5 things at once, so please bear with me. I'm a multitasker and a hootenanny. Alrighty. Come on. If you want to help me out, I appreciate it. Okay, so Laura Ingram posted this back in May the 31st of 2020. They want a civil war. This has been their aim for decades, even during Obama years. Social media made their insurgency more efficient. And then you got a Dan Bongino status there. But it's also stable. So here's the keyword as insurgency. So let's see what it is. You know, I don't get on Q. You know, I guess if you don't have, oh, 13 posts are found. If you don't have a, what am I thinking of? Oh, if you're not doing on X, my next, once I get the YouTube and get that going and maybe figure out how to go live on YouTube, I will probably, or maybe open up Twitter or X. So this is just another 1362, 1363. It's just another, looks like a repeat of, well, insurgency can be defined as the organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or challenge political control of a region. Insurgents seek to subvert or displace the government and completely or partially control the resources and population of a given territory. I mean, have y'all, if anybody, does anybody follow Caitlin Bennett with Liberty Hangout? She, apparently there was this, what they called a lie-in, in Florida. I think it was Sarasota, Florida. I don't know what day it was, but everybody was dressed in black. The Grim Reaper having these cutouts of a tombstone, and they're talking about, and I mean, it was crazy. What they were doing is lying. They would lie like they were dead, and I mean, it was gruesome. Really, it was kind of nuts the way they did that. It was just absolutely. I mean, and one guy actually says, she's like, said something about, why are you lying down? He goes, I don't know. I just do what I'm told. I mean, and they're using the older people. They got the older people so scared that they're going to lose Medicare or Medicaid. I mean, no matter how, I mean, it reminds me of the shots and the whole, President Trump, kept telling everybody, there are alternatives. You didn't have to be afraid. You didn't have to be afraid for your kids. He told people. He kept telling them. And it's like, how many times you have to, in order to counteract one narrative, fear, you have to remind them 10 times every time someone, plants that seed of fear in you. And no matter how much he tried to tell people, people just would not listen. So they do so through the use of force, including guerrilla warfare, terrorism and coercion, intimidation, propaganda, subversion, and political mobilization. Insurgents fight government forces only to the extent needed to achieve their political aims. Their main effort is not to kill counterinsurgents, but rather to establish a competitive system of control over the population. I mean, exactly. Isn't that what we're seeing now? Making it impossible for the government to administer its territory and people. Insurgent activity is therefore designed to weaken government control and legitimacy while increasing insurgent control and influence. This is the reason why I think that, now I'm reading this. This is probably the reason why they came up with the whole J6 of being insurgents, right? All people were just make their voices heard. They weren't hurting anybody. Insurgents require supporters, recruits, safe havens, money, supplies, weapons, and intelligence on government actions. I mean, come on. I mean, nobody uses, like I talked, with when I was talking to Erin earlier. Nobody uses critical thinking. You had all those Trump rallies, all of the boat rallies. How many rallies did you have and there was no problem, and all of a sudden J6 happens and there's a problem, and it's somehow somehow Trump supporters are at fault? Next, counterinsurgency may be defined as comprehensive civilian and military efforts to taken to simultaneously defeat and contain insurgency and address its root cause. Well, that's what we're trying to do, is address the root cause. The root cause is they got people so scared. They're scared that they're not going to be. I mean, change is hard. I mean, I don't like change, and it takes me a while. If I have, like this whole thing with Zoom, if I have to learn, it takes me a while to get comfortable with it. And I don't like it either, but I'm not going to do that one. But, this is what gets people the most. It's the fear-mongering that they put out. You're going to kill Grandma. You got to mask up or you're going to kill Grandma. Get the shot or you're going to kill Grandma. Get the shot or you're going to make my baby sick. So Antifa mapping started a long time ago. Yeah, you go back to the 80s, especially for, like when it comes to DEI, they called it affirmative action. I can remember back in the 80s when they started using politically correct terms, Oh, we got to be politically correct. So let's see, President Trump, this is when Twitter was still a thing. Sean Corticon, we knew this moment would arrive. We are the calm before the storm, during and after the storm. We continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat. Eventually, we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum, and what then? And that's a quote by Ronald Reagan. And they say, oh, SHIT. Killing is fun. Let's see. Yeah, of course, none of this is so old that it's been taken down. So buckle up. So here we go. Buckle up, everybody. Let's see what's this one. So this is Utah. Getting rid of graffiti. So together we win. I mean, yeah. Anyway. Oh, and okay, I got you too. Right. Why didn't the Democrats go to Cuba to visit Elian Gonzalez? That's because. Okay. And Twitter doesn't like this vote. Of course, this is before Elon Musk bought it. It doesn't like this video being posted on their platform. They even banned the person who posted it as soon as real Donald Trump retweeted it. So go give it a watch and a retweet. I'm not gonna do it, but it's just so many Twitter posts here. But anyway, have y'all noticed now that now that is 18? I mean, so much. I mean, it's now is everybody. They don't talk about Don Jr. as much. They don't talk about Tiffany as much, or Ivanka, or Eric. Now it's all about Barron. Now all of a sudden Barron is in their sights, and he's only 18. He's a young man, and he's only 18, and they're going after him. I remember, of course, not that I remember when they would go after the Bush twins. Let's see, nervous for his safety, Secret Service agents abruptly rushed the president to the underground bunker used in the past during terrorist attack. So this was published in 2020. Let's see. Yep, there's the mask people. You know, today was what is it? Today or Memorial Day? So it was what, May the 25th. So this is false. Woodshed utilized regarding intelligence management and monitoring of situation. Okay. So that's not responding. So all assets being deployed, people used as pawns, controlled. So you're witnessing the greatest coordinated disinformation campaign to ever be launched against the American people. Information warfare, infiltration, invasion, insurgency, irregular warfare, efforts to regain power. Actually, right now, I think it's not so much regaining, it's staying in. Be strong in the Lord. Yeah, we need to be strong in the Lord. If you're not having a relationship with the Lord, I really sincerely hope that you start asking Him to show you. If you don't believe in Him, it's like, oh gosh, oh goodness, I lost my. I really hope that you are seeking. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. So the question is, do you know where you're going? Do you know what's going to happen? So we have, let's see, this is June the 1st. You know, notice these are all in 2020. Just 5 years ago. I mean, these are all 2020. Right. Let's see. Does this work? Oh, that's just a caption. So this is World War Z official trailer. Okay. I'm to search screens. Okay. This just says MSDNC knowingly use fake footage. MSDNE, as in Edward, in pushing America on fire narrative by enemy of the people. Let's see. So people are rolling handing black men bricks, throwing during the protest. A woman was there to set things straight. And this is an LA, of course it would be. Let's see. Let's see this.
Bitch, don't give no group of black men no credit that don't do nothing, alright? Push the fuck up. Go home. Why would you give that to them? They gonna get in trouble. You stupid. You a retarded bitch. All of y'all. Why the fuck would you give that to them? Huh? That shit is wild as.
I'm not into profanity, so. I hate when I go through that. Let me see. So basically, you know, they're just showing how people are, you know, they're being helped out. It's not organic. These things happening are not organic. Cuomo warns protests could spark virus comeback in New York already. Yeah, we're seeing that again too. They keep trying that. So sums it up perfectly. Black community used as pawns. Welcome to the D Party. Unity creates peace. Unity is humanity. No civility unless D's win congressional control. Translation: MSDNC will incite and push division unless D controlled established. Think pre-midterm. So yeah, we're getting ready to go into midterms pretty soon. Let's see, now reconcile. The only thing that matters to them is regaining power. I think it's keeping them. Prevent public learning of truth, prevent accountability. I do think that more and more people are getting to the truth, but you know what? I think their funding is slowly drying up because, like I talked with Erin about the bots in social media these days. I'm seeing more positive. I'm seeing more pushback than I used to. I think, I mean, I know people, you know, I know they call, I know they call these Q posts psyops, but I still say, what's a psyop? Psyop is a persuasion to get people to believe a narrative. That's basically what a psyop is. And it could be based on your emotions. That's the reason why, even if it's on, you know, I agree with certain things, I don't like it when they try to use my emotions against me. I don't care who it is. And I think that's like, I make dependent on your point of view, I make a bad juror. Because if you're going to go and try to pull my heartstrings, I'm going to go against you, and only because I want to facts. I don't want any embellishments. Just give me the facts. I don't try to, because chances that's going to turn me off right away. I'm a very, I used to wear my emotions on my sleeve, and sometimes I still do. But, I've been burned too many times, and, just give me the facts. I don't want any of this rhetoric. Just give me the facts. So, police ordered to stand down by D mayors, D governors, Antifa coordinated zones. So, confirm fake images. And this is what I try to tell people. Don't believe everything you see on social media. Don't believe everything you see on TV. I keep going back to that, remember the ABC report where they said, oh, Trump is pulling out of Syria. And what was it? It was a training exercise. They used clips from a training exercise. We've seen where they can take and manipulate the visual images. Now with AI, it's so much easier to manipulate the visual images. I mean, let's see, Roger Ball has been called good and green, whatever that means. So that goes with our, those are the deltas. I think the deltas are fun. I think the posts are fun just because it reminds us to how to, let's see if this will work. Hopefully it will. And, oh.
There are times in life when you're weary, and the paths you have walked left you cold. Look to the stars for a light to guide your way, but the road will only take you so far. And you can't run from the truth of who you are. Time has a fickle way about her, and there's a season for everything. Sometimes you win or you lose, you're blessed or you're bruised. At times you cry, perhaps you'll sing. Then the still small voice calls you by name. I'll lift you high, higher than the mountains. I'll watch you shine, brighter than the sun. I love you deeper than the ocean in this world. I knew you before life had begun. I knew you before this life had begun. La, 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 la. There are times in your life of indecision, which path to take as you go. Some are smooth, some are hard, some are loving, some are scarred, but you only reap what you will sow. And the shepherd calls his people will know. I'll lift you high, higher than the mountains. I'll watch you shine, brighter than the sun. I'll love you deeper than any ocean in this world. I knew you before this life had begun. I'll lift you high, higher than the mountains. I'll watch you shine, brighter than the sun. I love you deeper than any ocean in this world. I knew you before life had begun. I knew you before this life had begun.
Okay, that will take us to the top of the hour, and Chris Moore is going to be on next. And thank you guys for bearing with me. And you know what? Isn't it funny? I could not play anything earlier, and now I can. It just go figure. One of these days. And by the way, just in case you didn't hear a while ago, I have opened up I'm starting to load things on YouTube, so I'm gonna get it all figured out. Anyway, I see Chris Moore is in the house. Hey, Chris.
How you doing, Deb? It's too sweet. How's everything?
Hey, Toots. I don't get to talk to you very often.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very good, thank you. Good show. Good stuff.
I don't know. I have to wing it a lot of times, so tech issues and all that good
We all
mess.
go through life winging it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will. Hey, Chris.
Hey, I didn't just hear one of you say you go through life waving it, did you?
Huh?
Nothing. I'm just trying to be funny.
Right? We're
Well,
right
no,
winging it. Right?
Yeah.
Winging it.
Yeah.
I said I wing it.
I thought you said
So,
waving
especially.
it. Never mind.
No, I said winging because especially when I have tech issues, it's like I can't play videos, so I have to figure out something. So usually a go-to is the post, the Delta. So otherwise, I just get on a rant and I'll say whatever, and then I just ramble.
We're all right winging it, baby. We're right winging it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, you're good, Deb. I was in the other room, so I missed getting a queuing on. So you guys you got a good show there. What I was hearing in the background.
Well, we got a debate whether or not Q actually did any good. I don't know, but anyway, well, I'll let you guys go. Y'all have a good show, and I'll see you next time around. See you in the funny papers.
You have a good night, Deb.
Take it easy, Deb.
Bye.